So I learned that as long as you put in the work, they're going to continue paying versus an hourly job. Doesn't matter how hard you work or if you don't work, you're going to get paid the same. I started going door to door
Yeah.
at 12 years old.
12 years old.
Just learn how to speak English. I will always remember this date, 12, 12, 12.
I wasn't getting paid $1 for probably a good month of work.
I was just 18, one of the youngest, if not the youngest guy in the crew. I learned how to focus on the client's needs and not my commission.
My first thing I ever sold was a room without a bathroom.
Ended up working at a Gucci store, walked in, board shorts on, like just from paddleboarding, asking for a job.
And I learned it's okay to be a copycat, just copy the right cat. What I spend on an average with a customer might be 30 minutes, but that average 30 minutes is generating minimum $2,500 for a company. Hey, if you go sell and really take this serious, you can make some serious money.
Well, thank you guys. We have Xavier on. Thank you for being with us.
I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Well, if you could, just for the audience, give us a little background on yourself, just like where you come from, what got you into sales, just like that transition, and then like the things like you're doing now.
A little bit about myself, Xavier Marrero, born in Puerto Rico, right, from a very poor family. Moved to Pennsylvania when I was very young, at 10. I always tell people, right, I didn't know what glass window looks like until I moved to the United States. Our windows are metal, right?
Yeah.
And if you're from the islands, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, man, coming over here, I seen the better life, and then it allowed me to get in position where I understood sales will be something good for me because there was no cap when it came to the money. So I learned that as long as you put in the work, they're going to continue paying versus an hourly job. Doesn't matter how hard you work or if you don't work, you're going to get paid the same. So that's kind of how I got into sales. And that started, again, at an early age, coming over from Puerto Rico and not having a lot of money.
How young?
I was 10 years old.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
10 years old. But again, you don't know that you're born poor until you get older, right? But I did realize at that age that we could have had better. And then at that time, I just went door to door. I started going door to door at 12 years old.
12 years old.
Just learned how to speak English. And I offer, if it was summer, I was going to cut your grass. If it was fall, I was going to rake your leaf. And if it was winter, I was going to shovel your snow.
Yeah.
So I was always in business. And I started sales door to door at 12.
Huh. Do you feel like that was pushed more on you, like from like family, friends, or is that something that you naturally like kind of got into?
It was natural.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have family and friends that were selling other things, but that's not the sales that I wanted to get into. But it was more, I felt that was the right thing to do at the time. I didn't have no guidance at that time other than God. And I just felt it in my gut.
Absolutely love that, man. And I guess like from there, like what was your path to like what did you like end up doing next? Like what got you into business and everything like that?
Yeah. So, starting door-to-door sales for myself at the time, didn't even know I was an entrepreneur. Later on, I got into sales because I love sneakers. So I love sneakers. I love fashion. As you can see, I'm always going to be fresh to death, right?
Of course.
So I was like, hey, why not take this passion and get paid for it? So then I learned, okay, well, I can definitely get paid for what I love doing. I started working at Champs Sporting Good, right? I was giving everybody the freshest Nikes, the newest hats, the newest jerseys at the time. And I was putting these things together for my clients and they was loving it. So not only did they want to come get the newest stuff, but they're like, hey, if I come see X, he's going to put a whole outfit for me together. So I started in Champs Sporting Good. And then that opened a door into more sales position, which when I turned 18, I did door to door again, and I did it for Kirby Vacuums.
Kirby Vacuums.
Yes.
Vacuums door to door.
Yes. Yeah. And then that was really showing me, hey, if you go sell and really take this serious, you can make some serious money. I was just 18, one of the youngest, if not the youngest guy in the crew, but there was a 22-year-old kid at the time, and I say kid, but at that time I thought he was a grown man, right? I'm 18, he's 22,
Sure.
but already had his wife, had a house, a brand new Corvette. I seen the Rolex that he was wearing, and he was riding the same bus we was riding every single day. And
From vacuums.
From vacuums, selling vacuums.
Yeah.
And I learned it's okay to be a copycat, just copy the right cat. So I say, hold on, this man has everything that I want. What did he do? to get there. And honestly, he did. He took me, that would be considered my first mentor. He took me under his wing and he said, hey, Xavier, this is how it works. This is how we target. This is how we peak the interest. And this is how we close the deal. And once I learned that formula, it was a wrap.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You still talk with him?
I don't, unfortunately. Yeah, but I'm 40, my brother. This was 22 years ago.
That was a long time ago.
I'm old.
That was a long time ago.
Yes.
That's funny. So you went from vacuum cleaning, like how, like with him being your mentor, if you don't mind me asking, like how much did you make like in commission doing that?
Yeah, so 18, again, coming from a background where money wasn't always available, I started generating about $5,000 a month.
Mhm.
18 years old, about $1,250 a week, which to me that was a lot of
That's
money.
big, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now he was generating $10,000 a month,
Mhm.
which to me at that time, $10,000 a month, I'm like, you made it
Mhm.
in life. Yeah,
It's crazy how like perspective can change
very true.
as you keep going.
Very true.
From like that vacuum cleaning business, like what'd you end up doing next and like getting into?
So from Kirby, then I actually started going into communications. After Kirby, I got into communications. Communication was getting very big at that time. Everything was going wireless. So I actually got hired by a company named Autel, which is no longer around. They got bought out by Verizon 8 years later.
Mhm.
So I worked for Autel for about 4 years. Verizon came in, took over, and only kept half of the employees. So you had to have the right numbers in sales to make sure you kept your job from Autel transitioning over to Verizon Wireless.
Okay.
I made the cut, right?
Okay,
Thank
sure.
God. And then, so when that sells, it taught me a lot. Obviously, communication, you have to deal with people every single day. It's something that's very meaningful to them. We all understand our phones are everything, right? You lose your phone, you lose your life. So I had to learn how to be a lot more professional. I had to learn how to be a quick problem solver. And I had to really learn how to give these clients world class, regardless what their attitude might have been, regardless what their situation might have been. So when I went to sales with them, I actually learned how to be very professional. I learned how to provide those solutions right away. I learned how to focus on the client's needs and not my commission.
So from almost like vacuum cleaning, like do you feel like you learn like different skill sets, like talking to like different people from like vacuum cleaning to that?
Yeah, definitely. Like that's a good example of what you're saying. When I was in the vacuum, selling vacuums, I had that mentor. He taught me some good ways how to position, how to sell, how to show the value. When I went to Verizon Wireless, I already brought those skill sets, but now they taught me more how to be professional, how to be that solver or that problem solver, how to have that authority to say, hey, how do I take ownership and how do I come up with a solution? At the same time, learn your needs, but then also be able to sell you based off of your needs, not
Mhm.
off of my quota or based off of anything else. So they really taught us how to be more customer driven than commission driven.
Mhm.
And they always taught us friendship, not commissionship.
100%. Which those are like two different skill sets, I guess. Because obviously, like I guess in business, you do need to make sure like you are making your commission, but it's customers first.
100%.
Customers first, their needs first, making sure they're like taken care of.
100%. And in sales, you already know it's about building relationships.
Mhm.
So if I make you feel comfortable, if you came in with an issue, I provide a solution for you. Never even try to sell you something because I see your frustration, you're upset. So now it's more like, okay, well, you're saying, hey, I went in with a problem. I was upset. I was cursing at this guy. I was yelling at this guy. This guy took the time, gave me a solution, never tried to sell me anything. Because, hey, Xavier took care of me. Or a family or friend say, hey, I want to go get a cell phone or I need this. You're going to say, hey, go see Xavier. So I always tell people, when you come to sales, please learn. And sales is long-term relationship. It's not short-term. Long-term relationship is what gets you the referrals. In sales, your business is built off of referrals. So that's very huge to know in sales is always cater to the client because the client will always come back. Remember, I always told this to my team as a leader. When a client comes in, they choose their rep. Not when a client come in, the rep doesn't choose that client.
Mhm.
So always do something that's going to allow that client to say, no matter what, I'm always going to come back to Xavier. I don't care how busy he is. I don't care how many people are still waiting for him because the experience that he's going to give me. But again, the experience that I give you in a long term, I'm going to start making money off of you and or off of your family and friends.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people don't see that in sales. They think about how can I get the most commission out of this client right now? And you might be able to do that, but that's going to be short term. That's never going to be long term.
We'll get into your transition in a second, but how do you feel like that skill has positioned you like in the businesses you operate now compared to like your competitors? Because I feel like that's something even business owners like don't like fully understand and like grasp.
100%. The way that has impacted my business today, 90% of my business comes from referrals. I don't pay.
You said 90?
90%.
Wow.
I do not pay for marketing. I do not pay for branding.
That's crazy.
Yes. Have recent that I did get a company that, we have a partnership that we're helping each other out, that they're doing some of my marketing and branding. Yes. But I've been doing this for 8.5 years. Prior to that, never paid 1 penny for marketing. The reason why is because I always focus on the customer's needs. I always focus on their goal. I always focus on what is it that they really want and how can I deliver? And at the same time, set the correct expectation. Because I have done that for so long, so many people know the way I do business that 90% of my business today is referral based.
That's crazy. And like how over like that time frame, like I guess even like now, like how much would you say like you're bringing in revenue a year?
And revenue, one of my business alone brings in over $40,000 a month in profits every single month, right? So I'm blessed with that. The second one does anywhere from 20 to 25,000, and the second one that's doing 20, 25,000, by the end of next year, that's going to be doing 100,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's just from autopilot.
That's autopilot.
Yeah,
I'm in a very great position because I tell people, as when you're in sales, yes, you want to be a hustler. You want to be out there. You're still young. You have that ambition. You have that drive. Go take full advantage of it in your 20s, your 30s, 100%, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you get to my age in your 40s, right, you always want to work smarter, not harder. In your 20s and 30s, you still want to, but you got that extra energy. Go push for it, right? So I'm at that point. It's like, how do I make this so automated that I really don't have to speak too much to my client? I really don't have to speak too much to my team. But at the end of the day, we're getting the best results that they possibly can get. And that's where we're at today. Because what I tell people, I'm at a different age, right? I'm at 40. Money is not everything, but it's up there with oxygen. We need it to survive. Mm-hmm. And money doesn't buy happiness, but it's a good down payment.
Oh, it's a great down payment.
We know that, right? But at the same time, I want to be able to enjoy my time. I want to make money, enjoy my time. So everything that we do is basically automated. What I spend on an average with a customer might be 30 minutes, but that average 30 minutes is generating minimum $2,500 for a company.
Mm-hmm. I love it, man.
Yes.
I mean, like with that success, I mean, like you definitely learned those skills like within sales. Like when was that point that you just knew that you needed to like go start your own business and like really like build that for yourself?
I will always remember this date, 12/12/12, December 12 of 2012. The reason why I will always remember that day, because that day is when my life completely changed around in a good way. It was the worst thing that happened to me that day, but it's the best thing that happened to me in my life. So I was let go of Verizon Wireless. I was the number one sales rep. I was making 6 figures a year. I'm in my 20s, so I'm living life. My son is at that time was probably around 4 or 5 years old. So I have my wife as well. So I had a lot of responsibility as a young man, but I was making a good income. So life was good. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, doing the right thing for the client and the customer got me fired by a manager that we always bumped head. That day I realized corporate's not loyal to you. That day I realized I'm nothing but a number, because being the number one sales rep in the nation, where I got to play golf with the CEO of Verizon Wireless because of my numbers, I was let go in a second and no questions were ever asked. That day is when I determined that I was going to be my own entrepreneur. I already knew that I can market myself. I learned a lot from sales. When you do sales, it's like you already own that company. You have to be creative. You got to find ways to market yourself, brand yourself. Mm-hmm. You got to find all the knowledge behind the product so that way you can make it relatable to every client that you speak to. And I learned a lot of these skills. And I say, well, if they're paying me 6 figures a year, I know I'm bringing them a lot more than that.
Mhm.
So on top of that, if they're paying me 6 figures a year, if I do this for myself, I'm cutting out the middleman some way, somehow. Because again, I didn't know none of this, right? But this is what I was feeling. And I remember I called my wife and I told her, I said, hey, they just fired me. And she said, no, they didn't. I said, yes. She's like, Xavier, your voice is too calm. I was like, no, God wanted this to happen. Like, I promised him we were going to be good. And God is good. That's exactly what happened. I took the leap of faith and I said, if I can make this happen for another company, then I can make this happen for my own company. And that's when I started the entrepreneurship in 2012. I'm sorry, December 12th of 2012.
12, 12, 12.
12, 12, 12. I will always remember that day.
That was crazy. That was a crazy story. I mean, being the number one sales rep, the number one revenue driver in a company, and you still don't have control
No control.
over it.
And the company is not loyal.
It's insane. I guess like from that point on, because like obviously like you like started the journey then, what like were the biggest challenges and bottlenecks that you ran into like in the first like 3 years, and what do you wish you had done differently?
Man, the first 3 years, I will have to say, one, you think you know enough, and you find out very quickly you don't, right? I had to learn, one, how did I really market myself and brand myself and get myself in front of eyeballs? I had to learn that real quickly. And remember, this was in 2012, so it's not like social media was still good, but it wasn't leveraged as much as it's leveraged today to brand yourself or brand your company. So that was a real big challenge. How do I get myself in front of people? Another big challenge that I had, you know what I mean, when I first got started, is just lack of knowledge with systems, right? A lot of people don't understand you can be replaced, especially today with this AI technology, right? So how did I take my workload and actually made it a lot easier on myself, but implement other systems or other individuals to handle that workload? So in the beginning, because I was starting fresh, I wanted to take care of everything. I wanted to be in charge. I had to know every moving part.
Yep.
And then 3 years later, I found out it was probably one of my biggest mistakes. I had to learn how to trust people. I come from a background where it's very hard to trust people. But in business, no matter what, you have to trust someone.
Have to.
So I after 3 years, I said, you know what? I have to learn how to trust people. I had to learn how to hire people that were better than me to do that position. And then I had to learn and spend time educate myself what systems were available out there for my industry, and also just work in general as a business owner, so I can make this a lot smoother for me and my team and my clients. So in the beginning, it's very challenging, but I always say when something is tough, that lets you know that it's worth fighting for it, because at the end of the day, the reward is going to be that much better.
Because no one's willing to do it.
No one's willing to do it. And I tell people, you know, me, I always fought for everything in my life versus being handed to. I feel the feeling that you know you accomplished something because of your hard work and the blood, sweat, and tears that you put in, it's a lot better than having something handed to you. You know, if you go fight blood, sweat, and tears for that Ferrari, once you get it, you're going to appreciate that Ferrari a lot more than if daddy just went and bought you a Ferrari. So,
100%. If you were to, I mean, like with that, if you were to go back and tell yourself, like as a sales rep, to like go learn a specific skill that would have helped you like get over those like 3 years like quicker, like what would that like skill be?
man, I will say communication.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I would learn more and better communication during my first 3 years, because again, that goes back to being able to trust people. That goes back to being able to communicate with the team and let them know, hey, these are the KPIs, you know, what's going on, you know, what are we doing good? What are we doing bad? You know, what can we improve in? What can we kind of back off? So communication, because if you're not sitting down with your team and really knowing what's happening every single day, number wise, you know, problems, good things that are coming out the business, I feel you would never grow. So, you know, just communication within just yourself and eventually with your team would definitely speed up the success process.
So like more communicating and like a leadership aspect, like being able to like be there, trust other people to like do their jobs, but then like
Yes.
guide them in
Yes,
that way.
and then also just besides that, just knowing your numbers. A
Mhm.
lot of I do partnerships. I just did a partnerships earlier today. The reason why I came here right after that meeting,
Mhm.
and when we started talking, I asked them, how often do you meet with your team to go over your KPIs? They didn't even know what I was talking about,
Oh gosh.
and so now I seen it as an opportunity because the guy a little younger than me, very ambition,
Mhm.
have something huge. I seen that as an opportunity to let him know, hey, my brother, you're already doing good. How much
You
better
do a
can you
lot
be
better.
doing
Yeah.
if you just knew your KPIs? If at least once a week you got with your team and communicated, because again, that's the biggest skill, communicated with your team and your team communicated with you, everything that's happening within the business.
Yeah. No, I absolutely love
Right.
that.
So I know that's going to be something that's going to take that business to a whole different level. He's already doing great.
Yeah. Interesting. I do like that a lot. Before we bring in the Bethany and Luca again to do like a little roundtable, last question to ask you, like where do you see yourself, if you can talk about where you want to be at in the next like 15, 20 years? Like what do you want that average Tuesday to look like?
Got you.
And how does that vision compare to what you wanted beforehand as a sales rep to like now?
Okay. So in the next 15 to 20 years, definitely be retired,
Mhm.
right? By that time, the two companies that I'm working with or that I created, I know they're still going to be running. Everybody still needs credit repair. I don't care what Trump is going to change or not, right? Shout out to him.
Mhm.
Um, and then everybody loves capital. Everybody needs capital. So the companies are definitely going to be around. Now, the goal is that I want to give back to the community. I want to give back to the youth. I want to give back to inner city. I want to provide a ton of knowledge. So what we're working on within 15 to 20 years is definitely going to be there. It's a program on teaching the youth and anyone financial literacy,
Mm.
is basically providing the knowledge that has not been given to us in schools, which you show me how to play a flute, but you don't show me how credit works.
That's nationwide.
Correct,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
it's crazy. We're fighting that right now.
Mhm.
Like we're fighting school districts to really make this a requirement in the actual boards. So in 15 years, that's definitely going to be in place. I speak everything to existent, right? So that's going to be in place. That's going to be the plan. Another thing is the nonprofit organization that comes behind the companies, right? We want to be able to give back to the communities. We want to give back to the youth. Besides educating them, let's provide them resources. Let's provide them resources. Let's provide individuals like yourself that you can give them an interview and help them brand their company, help them market themselves, right? And then understand that now we can show you and create an environment where we can bring these individuals in and just educate them on financial literacy, help them build their actual credit profile, but then also now leverage that credit profile for capital because they already been trained, they already been spoken to how they're going to reinvest that money.
Mhm.
So in 15 to 20 years, my goal is not just to be the business owner of these two companies and continue being that, it's to be an individual that can honestly bring someone into a certain environment and from A to Z, help them, right? From education to help them establish it to once it's established it, how do you leverage it? And once you leverage it, how do you create residual income off of it? That is the ultimate goal. Is there is no way I can leave this earth without showing people the knowledge that I have and not showing people how to become financially free and honestly doing with OPM, other people's money.
Mhm.
We're in the United States of America. God bless America.
God bless.
Because yes, are we truly free? No, but it's the opportunities unlimited 100%. 100%. So I want us to know, how do you have access to that? So in the next 15 to 20 years, I will have a system that will be educating people, will help them set everything up, will help them put them in position, and will give them a solution how to create residual income.
I mean, it's awesome to hear, man. It's like God's given you so much, and it's like you want to give back. You want to help people
So
build
much because the
their dream
vision is
life.
there. He
Mhm.
gave me that. So going back, before when I was in sales, I just wanted money. That's all I wanted. I want money so I can look good. I can take care of people around me. My mom and dad can be straight, right? I didn't have a kid at that time. I just wanted to make money. So that's what my goal was at that time. how do I make money? How much I can make? Now, where I'm at today, and then to go 15 to 20 years from now, we're definitely gonna create a system that's gonna set a lot of people financially free.
I love it, man.
Yes.
Well, dude, thanks for having this segment with me.
Yeah,
been,
no, I appreciate it, my brother.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yes, sir.
And I think you're going to help a lot of people, and hopefully this will help a lot of people as well.
I hope so, my brother.
Which will be good.
We're gonna make it happen.
It'll be good. Thank you for joining me, Bethany and Luca. If you guys could just give us a little background on yourselves, just like what you do, where you come from, and all of that.
Okay, hi, I'm Bethany. I am 29. I moved to Tampa 3 years ago from Pennsylvania. I work at the Addition. I'm a server on the rooftop, and then I also do a little side travel agent stuff. So it's really fun. Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
I'm Luca Field. I'm from Colorado originally. I've been out in the Tampa area for like 3 years. I own a business back in Colorado, and I'm a sales rep at Flow Energy. So we've been there for 3 years now.
Love it. Love it. So sales rep at Flow, and then doing serving on the side and travel agency. Love it. Like, what got you guys into sales in the first place?
I studied business in college. So I graduated the management and finance degree, and I just worked in restaurants and then hospitality the entire time. And my whole family was built around sales. So I just flowed right into it. I don't even know. It just kind of happened. It wasn't like picked or anything.
Yeah, I guess like what like got you like into that was just like you like talked to someone, or just like you just like thought you'd be good at sales, or
I think it just happened naturally more than anything. I was applying for jobs when I was in college, and I was looking for different things to do. And I started in hotels, and it was like, okay, well, you're in a front desk and you got to sell rooms. And my first thing I ever sold was a room without a bathroom. And they're like, we don't know how you just did that. You sold a room without a bathroom. And I was like, well, listen. And they're like, you need to like go into sales. And then ever since then, I get people every day. It's like, you need to sell more stuff. Like, I want you on my team no matter what it is. And I'm just like, it's just being people person and talking to people. So that's what it comes down to.
Love it. Love it.
It would have been like 5 years ago. I was working in Aspen, Colorado, and I just got a lifty job there for like the summer right before college, and ended up working at a Gucci store. Walked in, board shorts on, like just from paddleboarding, asking for a job, and they gave me it. Yep, and they gave me it in Aspen, Colorado, and I kind of laid my life down for it and worked there for a year and a half. And then started my business, and I really started like the sales process for me and getting into sales out here in Florida. Here we are now.
Love it. I mean, getting that job, walking in with board shorts is a little crazy, but
Yeah,
Gucci that's
it was
a
pretty
story.
crazy. I have no idea why they said yes, but I'm glad they did because it was a good job.
I love that. I love that. I guess like for you guys, like you guys got into sales. I mean, it seems like it just kind of like happened for like the both of you, or like naturally good at it. Like what are you guys doing it for now? What's your guys' like 15, 20 year like goal plan? Like what do you guys like want in the future?
Yeah, I'd say why I'm in sales is the opportunity to make as much as like I want. As basic of an answer that is, I've felt capped at every other job I've had. And so sales is really like one of the few opportunities where it's like a direct reflection of you. So that's like really why I stay in it, because there's no one else to blame except for myself when I'm underperforming. But ever since I was a kid, I've always loved competition. So like sales is full of competition. But the biggest thing with that is like you really grow in that. Like there's not a lot of jobs where every day you show up, you have to perform. You don't just clock in, clock out. Like it's completely accountable. So that's why I love it.
Love it. And like what are you doing it for? Like in the long term, like 15, 20 years? Like what is that getting you to?
Long term, I mean, my big why is I want to own like a tiny business, like tiny home community of businesses. Like my big plan for the next 15 years is I want to start a tiny home community business where we make like sustainable housing at a lower cost for people outside the city, and just really open up that pathway of like affordable living, simple living. I became a minimalist when I was 15. So it's like resonates a lot with me of just simple living, like having more time and freedom for things that really matter in your life, and not the big rat race. So that's my big vision.
I would say I'm going to feed off of that and say Definitely competition.
Mhm.
I feel like there's always something to strive at. Like for me, I always want to be the best at what I do. And if I'm not the best, I want to get there. And then I feel like you kind of max out and then you move on to the next thing to level up. So I feel like where I'm at, like you can keep leveling up different kinds of niches, different kinds of restaurants, different kinds of things. For me, my long-term goal, I would say is just be financially free. That's a huge one. I want to like live off investments and save my money. And I also love how you kind of make your own schedule in sales. Like you don't live the typical 9 to 5 job. I mean, some people do in sales, but that's the best part is you can go do a class in the morning if you want to. You can work until 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. You kind of make your own schedule. And I feel like it's very abnormal and you just get to live a better lifestyle. There's a better health, like work-life balance there.
100%.
Yeah.
Giving you like the foundation to build towards like that financial freedom as well.
Yeah. You can work as much as you want, as little as you want
Mm-hmm.
to live. You get to enjoy life. And I feel like that's a fun part of aspect of it.
100%. 100% agree with that.
So that's a big thing for both of you guys. It's kind of like that work-life balance, being able to have like the flexibility and freedom towards like working towards like your goals as well.
Absolutely.
I love that. For you guys, like what's a day you guys almost quit sales? Like what happened and like what did you end up doing next?
Oof. I've got a story for you guys.
I don't even know for that one.
I got a story time. Take me back to last year. There was just a day where in sales, like your income is kind of scary sometimes because it's unpredictable. So I was just having a really bad streak of like canceled deals for solar. And so I wasn't getting paid $1 for probably a good month of work. And like when you zoom out in the real like perspective of sales, like you usually end up positive. But when you're like in that moment of losing so much money in so little time and you need money, it's really hard. So I was down bad and I was ready to leave. And what really kept me going was just the bigger vision, because to step into the shoes and do the things I want to do with my life, there's just no way I can do it without sales. I genuinely believe that. Just with the freedom I get and everything, like I've sacrificed for it. Couldn't give up then. So I just kept sticking with it and I'm glad I did.
100%.
Yeah.
I love that.
I would say mine, I almost quit because of my coworkers. It was the work environment for me. Like my previous job, it was so bad. Like people were just stealing money from other people, like stealing clients, stealing everything. And if you don't have like a good team, it totally collapses. And for me, it was that. Like I just didn't want to work in that type of environment. And I was like, do I really want to continue down this pathway? Is this really how it's going to be everywhere that you go? Because it's very competitive. And when things get competitive, like people can be nasty.
Yeah.
So,
That's true. I totally
mean,
get
you
it.
just kind of have to put on a positive outlook and a positive face. And then you just keep pushing forward. And honestly, at the end of the day, it's the paycheck. You got to look at, like, you're not going to make money like this doing anything else.
So for both of you guys, I guess the thing that like kept you guys going was like in the long term, like the paychecks and like the flexibility, to just like keep going, even though like the work environment sucked in the moment. It's like, what else can you do that like
Yeah.
can give you like that life? No, that's really interesting. Like, I guess like talking about checks as well. What's the best check both of you guys have gotten so far in sales? And like what set it up like the week before? Like what like set up getting like that big check, closes, sits, or however it works?
Yeah. The biggest check I've gotten in sales was $16,082.
Hell yeah.
Oh
And
my gosh. That's great.
going back to like the competition, we were actually in a month-long competition for our company. So I was competing against another sales rep. And that whole week we were just battling it out, working 10, 12 hours a day out on knocking doors, which is like one of the hardest jobs you can do. So I always tell people like 2 hours on the door is like a 9 to 5 job. It's like a lot of work, but we stuck it out. And what really made it happen that week was probably the competition the most. And then I've just felt very deep rooted in like the bigger vision. And I was really focused on that week.
Interesting. So like you made the most amount of money really from the competition, like other people like pushing you, but also tying that into the bigger vision for yourself.
Yeah. And I think just using all the skill set I've gained over the past 3 years in sales, like that really helped with that.
I love that.
I
What
say
yours?
mine's kind of crazy. I would say around the holidays is really great, especially like from a serving aspect. Like a lot of the money you just take home is cash. I did a $6,000 week in cash for like no reason.
Jeez.
I'm
That's
like,
crazy.
just in cash.
Yeah.
Like it was New Year's, it was Christmas. And between that time, people are giving. And a lot of times you have a ton of parties. So we just had some crazy parties and bottle service. And that's what it came down to. And I was like,
It's a lot of cash.
let's keep going. Let's keep going. You know, especially on New Year's, people don't stop. You just keep pouring the bottles
Yep.
and they keep ordering.
Just, like, can't complain about that. Can't
No,
complain.
it was good. Yeah.
That's
I
pretty
don't know. I
insane.
don't even know what I did, but it was just, let's just have a good time.
So
Okay.
you felt like it was more like the time of year.
Yeah,
People coming in.
definitely. 100%. Because you know, every year you have seasons, like winter season's kind of rough sometimes until you hit the holidays. Summer with the rainy months is rough, but January through March, April, May are really good. So it's definitely up and down. Like yours probably fluctuates too.
Yeah, all the time. Like our summers are the best time, and then winter it's like kind of slow.
Yeah, a little bit
Usually when
slower.
I travel, get out of here.
That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely interesting. And for you guys, just one last question before we bring on Xavier. With you guys working towards that bigger picture goal of like financial freedom, starting like your tiny home, like communities, what do you feel like has been the biggest like roadblock for you guys in like getting there?
I'd say the biggest roadblock for me probably is like securing first, like land is a big one. Permitting is like changing in the US pretty quickly right now. So getting permits for tiny houses is already like a big hassle because they're not like an actual established home. So I'd say that was a big hurdle, but securing financing, like that's always been something until like later, like in my life that I haven't been able to do. So I'd say those two things, like securing the financing, being reputable. Networking is a huge one, finding the right people because it's very niche, but there's a good amount of successful people in it, and just connecting with them.
Mhm. Love that. So you feel like it's definitely been more like a capital restraint and then also like a networking thing as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say those are the two big ones.
Interesting. Cool. What about for you?
I think my biggest thing is obviously Tampa's growing. Right now, where I work, it's very niche. There is nothing in the area that's like it. So the biggest thing is going to be competition coming up. I mean, you have all these other big hotels and other places going to be built in the next 5-6 years. That'll affect your paycheck in a good way or a bad way. You just don't know because if those hotels are doing really good, you lose your business. If they're doing great, you continue to keep it. And it all depends on how Tampa grows in general as a city. That's what it comes down to. Like one hurricane could wreck us and I'm done for, you know?
Yeah.
It's true
Same.
though. Like
Same
Mhm.
here. Same here.
No, that's true. That's I guess like the external environments is scary.
'cause you can't control those.
Yeah. Do you feel like that's like a bottleneck though for you, like in achieving like the financial freedom?
It depends on if I want to stay.
Yeah.
And keep doing that, or if I want to go in a different type of sales or do anything else, really.
Mhm.
I mean, the travel industry in general right now is kind of hard because of the financial state of the country and the financial state of the world. So a lot of people haven't been traveling. So that's really honestly, if it picks back up and the economy is doing great, we do great.
Yeah, 100%. So you are thinking about like potentially like making a switch if
Mhm.
like with those bottlenecks coming up. No, I love that.
You
If
have
it
to have
comes,
room to
yeah.
like flex.
Yeah, definitely. I really, really like that. Well, thank you both for being on.
Yes, of course.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we'll have you guys back on in a second with Xavier, and yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Yay, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys. This has been awesome so far. I hope some people like actually watch all the way through because I've gotten a lot of value from it. It's been good. So we're gonna do a couple of roundtable questions, just like I was explaining before. Yeah, you guys will answer first, and we'll end off with Xavier. But for you guys, complete the sentence. Most sales reps who fail, they don't lack work ethic. They lack blank.
Consistency.
Vision.
Drive.
Interesting. Dive in to all those a little bit deeper.
I think success comes with consistency. If you don't keep pushing out whatever you're selling or whatever you're doing, you're not going to see results. If you're constantly doing different kinds of things, people aren't going to understand your brand or who you are.
Mhm.
So you have to have that level of trust. So you're not going to get that trust if you're constantly all over the place.
And how have you seen that like work for you?
For me, it's like having knowledge, seeing the same people every day, having a relationship with them and getting to know them, and just being authentic.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as you're like the same overall, then you'll be successful.
I love that.
I'd say for vision, I think a lot of people fail when it gets hard. And I feel like adversity is where you should like thrive in. You should go for it. Anytime something is challenging, like you should throw yourself in the fire. So I feel like when sales reps like lack, I think it's vision, because vision is really what will push you through that. Having a strong why, knowing what you're doing, because if you don't have that, it's just going to get too hard.
100%. And how like do you feel like that's helped you through hard times, or like a story about it?
Yeah. I think a lot about my mom and dad. I want to take care of them when I'm older. My whys are just bigger than anything I've ever chased. And so fulfilling that, I know it's going to take a lot and it's going to be hard. But every time I put myself in that fire and push past the hard and remembered my vision, that's when things really like the magic comes in.
I mean, I had to piggyback off of that. He has vision. I said driven. Very similar. He had a good point. We always say if your why doesn't make you cry, then it's not strong enough, right? Because we all come from sales. We could be very consistent, but we wake up some days and we just want to give up, and we gotta say, man, we gotta be consistent because people need to know what we're doing. But that vision is like, hold on. Even though I want to give up, I see the vision. I want to retire my parents, and you will. Congratulations. It's a great feeling. I retired my parents 3 years ago and bought them a house. So the vision kept me there, which also was the drive, right? Because when you said vision, I was like, man, he took my word. So the next one that came my mind was driven, right? Because she had a great one. You probably had the best one. But I'm like, but you have to be driven, right? Because you have to be consistent. You got to see the vision, but you have to have that fire to go out there and make it happen. Because if you don't, you're not going to be consistent. You're not going to have the vision, and you're not going to get nowhere. So I think, there's not a specific word that is going to be the correct one. I think they're all correct. But I think driven is very important, because if you don't have it, you can see the vision and you can try to be consistent every single day, but that drive is what's going to push you to the next level.
100%.
Yes.
I love those. Love those. Define launch ready. Like someone that's like ready to actually go through, make the jump, start their business, and then they like name someone who has done it in your guys' life. If you guys can like remember someone, and what they do, like someone that like did like make that jump, like someone that like was like a sales rep at like one time, like what was like their situation, and like how they like jump into it.
When I think of someone, based off of your question, Louis Capdevila. Louis Capdevila did sales when he was younger. He actually did sell for his dad. He's here in Tampa. Right now, Louis Capdevila owns a good amount of Tampa when it comes to real estate. He owns La Teresita restaurant here in Tampa as well. And I remember him telling me his story when he was younger. He came from sales, learned, and that's actually is funny because it ties into I met him in Autel when I was doing communication.
Okay.
And he was the one that kind of became my second mentor. And then, when I was speaking to him, he was telling me that he came from sales. And I reminded him of himself when he was younger. So he's like, hey, you should become a business owner. You have the skill sets. And then I was just like, yeah, whatever. I'm making good money. You don't even know how much money I'm making. I thought it was good money, but I didn't know how much money he was making. But he is a multimillionaire, came from sales, owns a large real estate here in Tampa, also owns churches and restaurants. Yes, sir. Louis Capdevila.
Let's look him up.
I've got one.
Yeah.
I'd say for me, it would be a guy named Aaron Jaramillo, and he lives in Denver, and he's one of my good friends. But We worked at Gucci for like a couple years together, and he went out and he just started his first real estate like investing firm. So he's starting it out. But he's picked up like 9 or 10 properties, and he's only like 3, 4 years older than me.
Oh yeah.
And we resonate pretty deeply because he comes from like very similar like lifestyles, very similar like upbringing. But he carried a ton of like big financial debt, and it just like he got tastes of money and spent it. I had that same phase for a long time, and it took me a lot.
I think everyone does.
But I think I think the value in that, like just growing and living with him, is seeing how he came out of that and like actually became consistent with his finances, and being from a place of like pain with him and understanding how he got out of it. Really took my blinders off to get out of like debt and start saving money and really chasing the goals.
Love that.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I would say mine's a really good friend of mine, Natalie Figueroa. She's kind of newer in the Tampa space. We work together, and she just one day randomly started throwing all these events throughout Tampa, and she's just become so successful doing it. And I'm like, I can work 2 jobs and do the same thing. So she's really pushed me, and I feel like we feed off of each other, and she's just becoming so successful. And I'm like, if she can do it, then I can do it. So why not,
100%.
Yes.
I think it's always good to have those people in our lives who like really push us to that next level. Someone that's doing better than us, that's like made that jump. Like that's a close friend, like within our network, someone that we can go to. So love that all of you guys have someone.
Okay, so what's a hidden problem in your business that was hard to notice, but once you fixed it, everything got better?
So in my business, one of the hidden problems that we were having is that the client was not being communicated at the time their new credit report was updated, which caused the client to almost feel that they paid for a service and they're not getting any results. And that was something very big for us because we're not dealing with a couple $100 transaction. We're dealing with several thousands of dollar transaction. So when we picked that up and we realized like, hey, if we were the client and we paid you a couple thousands of dollars and we're not getting any updates and it's 30 days later, we might feel some type of way too. So when we picked that up, we hired the experts that come in that were more customer service driven, that had the time to go in every single day, update the customer's profile to see if any changes were made, and then take the time to actually call that client and get them the update. And now that we're doing that, we see that clients really get results within sometimes a week to 2 weeks, and we was telling them 30 days. So now
That's good.
we call them a week later, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later with an update, and they're super happy because they were waiting for 30 days or more. So so we found that problem, came up with a solution, and they made the customer experience so much better.
So if you lost it all tomorrow, what's the first thing you do to build wealth again?
So if I lost it all tomorrow, won't be the first time I lost it all. So what I will do is what I did before, I will go back out there dead broke, looking clean, even if I have to go to Goodwill and buy a suit, and I will start networking. I will start meeting with people in your local area, see what they're doing, who is successful, who's doing something that you would love to do, and making the money that you want to make and live the lifestyle that you want to live, and just partner up. I don't care if you have to become a friend. I don't care if you have to become one of their workers. I don't care if you have to become a business partner. Find that person. I always say it's okay to be a copycat. Just copy the right cat.
My question, this one's like a deep one, but I am curious, like in running sales teams and just seeing like people with potential who can like go and change their lives. More so on like the sales side, what besides leading by example, like do you do? What like systems in place do you have to help them achieve success and see the vision that you see for them?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. You know, when you have so much talent, when you have someone that has talent, obviously you want to keep them, right? That's what you normally want to do. Well, we're vice versa. When we see someone that has so much potential, so much talent, we start mentoring them at a different level, and we start mentoring them as a business owner. And then we start showing them the systems that we use. We start showing them the methods that we use. Um, and we definitely do put them on a path to start their own business. Right now, under my belt, I probably have a little bit over 1,000 individuals that have started their own companies after coming under my mentorship. So we like to take the skills and really push that person to the next level and really just show that person, just like me, if I could do this for a company and you're doing this for my company, you're making me richer. I'm okay with that. But let me be honest with you. Go make yourself wealthy by doing the exact same thing for yourself.
I love it.
Yeah.
And my next question, I think the biggest thing to building like anything successful is your networking, kind of like what you were saying. How do you push past like, I guess the barrier and opening doors instead of just networking, like actually opening that door and establishing like a future relationship with a business partner? I'm curious, like, what does that look like?
I have two answers for you. First answer, if I knock on your door and you don't open that door, I'm just going to kick it open and I'm going to introduce myself and what I do.
There we go.
First of all, right? Again, driven. I have a vision. I'm consistent. We're going to make this happen. There's no choice.
Okay.
Now, what I like to do is, I go knock on the door. My biggest thing when I tell people in business, it's not about the dollar amount. It's about the relationship. So when I go into a door that I'm knocking, I want that door to open. As soon as it opens, I'm going to introduce myself, right? But this is what I like to do. Besides introducing myself, because that's like your common thing that everyone does, I like to bring them value from the beginning. So if I'm going to a lender, I'm just going to go in there, hey, I just need to speak to whoever's in charge. The reason why is because I got customers that are trying to buy houses right now. What lender is going to kick me out that office? They're not. They're looking for people that are buying houses. I came to them with a solution from the beginning before I even told them who I was. They don't care who I am. Now they just know I'm there and I brought value from the beginning. The clients that you guys are starving for, I had them in my database every single day. So I go in, I knock on the door, but I want to make sure that they know the value that I bring. They don't need to know who I am.
I love that.
They need to know the value and the solution I'm providing for their company, for their needs. Don't worry about yourself. Worry about them. Eventually, everything comes back to you.
I love that. I love that. Establishing value.
Yes, from the beginning. Because again, a lot of people like to knock on doors. They open them and, hey, my name is Xavier. I fix credit repair. Yeah, you and 100,000 people on this earth does. So what makes you different? What makes me different? I have a database I can show you right now that I have qualified clients that are looking for you. But they don't know where you're at and you don't know where they're at. But I know where both of you guys are at.
That's perfect. Thank you.
So it's really, just like really realizing what their situation is, their needs, and then providing like that value. Because then they have to keep the door open.
Every business I look at, I always look for a missing link. How can you become that missing link and profit off of it?
Okay. This kind of goes off what you just said. When you learn from other successful people, how do you take what works without copying their whole style or goals by accident?
Well, you said it earlier. You got to be genuine. When you're genuine, I can copy you, but I still got my own flow. I still got my own swag. So I don't know how to answer that. I think, me personally, I'm just going to be me. I'm going to copy exactly what you did. You teach me something, I can duplicate the crap out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to do it my way, my style, that you're going to know, hey, that was X. Hey, that was a guy with the big beard and a white stripe down the middle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, again, I don't know how to explain that. That's a good question. I don't know if I'm answering it correctly.
I feel like you are.
Yeah, just be genuine. Copy somebody, but be yourself. Just be genuine.
I feel like there is like this thing behind you don't want to copy other people because they can either find it offensive or, it could be the other way. But yeah.
But look, when it comes to business, you don't think what other people are going to think.
That's true.
Because at the end of the day, yes, if I copy someone, Henry Ashton, right? Everybody knows who he is, right? He's had an interview and they asked him the same question. He said he used to hate when people copied him, like really hate it. Like he used to go home, it was like his whole day was ruined. But then he realized, he's like, why would I be mad if people are copying me? That just means I'm doing something right and they want to do the exact same thing.
That's true.
So when I see someone and I want to copy them because they have what I want or they doing what I want to be doing, I'm okay letting them know I'm going to copy that, but it's going to be my swag. It's going to be my own style.
Like, I'm gonna do it better.
Well, not even better. It's just gonna be different, you know.
You're unique.
Yeah, it's gonna be different.
Because everyone has their own unique style.
Yeah, I think today's world, everybody's kind of scared to, like,
Yeah.
well, I see they're doing this, but I don't want to do it because they're gonna call me a copycat. Hey, look, man, if I could retire my parents, I'm good, and I'm driving the dream car that I want, and my son is good, I don't care what they got to say. In business, I have learned you have to have a tough skin. People are going to say something about you regardless, because you could be in one town and you and your grandfather are walking a donkey in one town, and they're going to be like, why didn't the grandfather put the child on a donkey? Then the next town, the grandfather puts a child on a donkey. Then that town says, why did that young man allow his grandfather to walk? He's younger. The grandfather should be on that donkey. So then the next town, they both got on a donkey. Then that town said, oh my God, they're abusing the donkey. That's too much weight on their back. You'll never win. Doesn't matter what you do. Somebody's always going to have something negative to say. As long as you know deep down your heart, you got the right intentions and you're doing something right, who cares? Copy all you want to copy.
Boom.
Hashtag. We should
Boom.
hashtag that.
That's perfect.
Yes.
That was perfect. But yeah, thank you guys for being on. This is absolute pleasure.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you.
Should be good. Well, thank you guys for joining us today. Hopefully you guys get as much insight out of this as I did. Really like the dynamic of having sales reps on, like with the owner, seeing what the different answers are, different perspectives, and really just like how to bridge that gap. If you're looking to get into a place where you have mentors like Xavier who have done what you're trying to do, go from being a sales rep to actually starting your own business, go to rep2owner.com, check out our free analysis to see like where you're at from starting your own business. The first 200 people that do it will actually get a free physical copy, with not including shipping, of Alex Hormozi's new book, $100 million Models. But thank you guys for joining us today. Thank you for the patience, and we'll see you next time.